We go 3, 2, 1. So, quite comfortable with that. Okay, maybe now I can safely screenshot that. Post it here. There we go. DAX yesterday eventually found support in Friday's session high and moved higher, but only after a retest. And to me, on a higher time frame, that looks indeed like a reversal pattern, like some inverted head and shoulders. If you remind me, I will show you. Can't hear anything, buddy. Yeah, well. There you go. I can assure you, I unmuted myself. This fucking Telegram, fucking piece of shit technology. Sorry, but it really is. You know, it's unreliable. I have to talk to Tom about it. This Telegram streaming is just shit. Sorry. There's two options here. There's YouTube and there is zero latency or low latency streaming with Divergent, which by the way costs a lot of money. So I don't know why do we need to also stream audio to Telegram. It's just annoying. You know, you create their live stream together with 2 other streaming outlets, right? So, and then you need to unmute your fucking microphone. And then you do that, and then a couple minutes later, you know, some bozo writes you, Andy, we can't hear anything. Yeah, sorry, it's not my fault. I run into that shit every day. Man, I hate Telegram. So, and you know what I also would love is that we get filled in the espresso and finally make some points here. Okay. Have to switch to karaoke espresso. Or maybe not. Ah, we're short now. Short the DAX. DAX short. And now Telegram. There you go. Okay. We just barely got activated. You see that? Okay. This is not my preferred scenario. Would rather have it working immediately. 26,292.12. You see, that's why a large offset is important, right? If we just would be a tick below here, then we wouldn't need to puke through this position right now. T. So I put stop loss, moved stop loss down. And I changed the long order to flip. Yeah. It's one of those cases where you wish you wouldn't be activated there. Maybe we need to point more offset. Know how many chances we get to get out of this. I probably take my loss here. Closing DAX for minus 12. So why did I do that? Because, well, of this, of the fact that we may have just found support at previous session low, and the overall context for today is bullish. So okay. Oh, FTSE printed the first bar negative. That would have been activated. Not sure I would have. Well, but it would be been positive now. Not interested in a second touch though. We'll leave that alone. That hasn't been the most reliable technique lately. Okay, the first bar relatively indecisive, but the bear body, we filled the gap, which was the tiniest, was almost a neutral opening. And now the second bar is an inside bar. So should we get a second touchdown here? Might be willing to take a short position again. So Okay, tell you what, I will delete all orders. So let's wait a little bit. Okay, now DAX seems to head lower. Overnight low coming in at 22.6.4. So let me show you the 1 hour chart. Maybe 4 hour. You can see that a little better. So what it lacks is a distinctive shoulder here. So, right. So this is what I'm seeing. I don't trade like that anymore, but I can't unsee it. We only always see on a chart what we trained our eyes to see ever. And yeah, and this is could be an inverted head and shoulders. And the way how you would trade that is you would find the neckline and then which looks something like that, right? So, and then you would buy, stop loss down here, or if you want to have less risk, under the right shoulder, which of course at that point you don't, do you really know whether that is a shoulder or just, you know, will it continue to meander and be in a trading range? So that's the thing. Also, the left shoulder here is, you need some imagination. But hey, that's what it is. So now many lines on my screen. I prefer I have absolutely nothing on my screen. Doing that all for you guys. So. Okay. We're still printing bear bars. However, here seems to be some support. but clearly bears are in control. So far, bar 1 and bar 3 tapped into support, and buyers pushed the bodies back up. Right. Now bears attempting again. And yeah, at one point they might succeed, right? So maybe now. Overnight low comes in here at 22.6.4. Believe I said that. Previous session low at 249.7. 249.7, yes. So okay, look at that. The first bar negative so far would have provided us with a nice profit. If we took it. Okay. I have the feeling DAX wants to head lower. So far, no initiative from buyers at all. But so far, support also holds. There. The bears are trying to make new lows. Bulls push the candle body back up, making it smaller. Now we almost got a color change. Yesterday, some gentleman was like, don't, or was it on Monday? Why do you say bulls and bears? I just use it synonymously for buyers and sellers, right? We all know who the market participants are. Mm-hmm. Okay. 7.9, 8.9. Yep, made a new low. There you go. Now what? I will take the ASRS in case we get there. Probably we get away with a smaller stop loss. On the opposite side is a little bit small. 25 point in the DAX, it's not it's not 2019 anymore. Even though that is technically the invalidation point. Probably risk 40. So Another sell order in the DAX. Could have already been short, but I prefer to have a little bit more confirmation. FTSE is coming back down. Now I wouldn't be interested in taking this signal, rather do the opposite. This looks more like a pullback and we might get a second leg down. So FTSE seems to be easier to trade this morning. Hi Andy, why did not you buy first by positive FTSE 100? Because I was messing around here with the espresso and didn't pay attention. So we got short in the DAX. There we go. On an ASRS. Stop loss is 26,276.1. Right now we're at support. Would have been a great target for the espresso. Now we are short again, but with a little bit more confirmation. So now trading below overnight low. Where's my... Oh, that means... Should we accept below here? There is nothing anymore, right? Okay. Moving stop loss to 26,262. There you go. FTSE seems to be weak. So I wanted to explain to you, second touch always not interested in second touches, right? Buyers should be stepping in below first bar. That's the first bar negative. And we got follow through on bar 3. And then again sellers stepped in, and guess what? This to me looks more like now a downtrend, with this being a swing high within the pullback. Now we're making lower lows. So, and DAX, we need to accept that we're now at the bottom of the price action here. In between cash sessions. Okay. Didn't close below the overnight low, just dipped below. Guess we have to wait. And guys, I don't take those signals religiously. I take them very often when I trade with you because they appear reliably at a certain point in time where we are together. So they give us structured points in time where we have some information, and that lets us interact with the market. That's how I use Tom's entry techniques. But I try to always look at context. So in case you don't see what I see. Okay, those drawing tools are really almost like Telegram. I see something like this. So and if we project this leg down, yeah, we would get to, I don't know, 861 if it's an equal distant one, right? So see if you get a close below. So very clear what's happening on the 50-minute chart. If we are closing below all of those levels here, yeah, we might be in for a larger move down. So where could that get us? Here's support. 156, 175, definitely. You know that this year, that Friday high was significant. The market tried to break through here twice, then eventually did yesterday, came back, found support, and then took off. So to me, that level is significant. Let's make it green so we know. Let's make it big. So I will add on the Skuran, putting an order there. We bears managed to close below everything. So $50 points stop loss seems to put the stop loss directly at the invalidation point. Come on, bears! Sell the shit out of the ducks. There we go. Boom. Edit. Okay. Don't want to be greedy. So, guess if we get there, that's a nice profit. And we can still decide what to do with it. Some gentleman says support will come on 194 U-turn there. Okay. $96.9 is not 94, but very close, right? So Shinzi says, hey legend, I have a question I've been pondering on for a while. When adding two positions in CFD trading, it opens a separate order, but when adding in futures, it increases the same position size and therefore moves your entry closer to the price action, makes it harder to protect yourself by having break-even stop as you can in CFDs. You would be able to move stop loss on first, second, third, etc. orders to break even as I keep adding, but in futures I just keep moving your entry closer to the current price and therefore raising the stress level. Well, I didn't trade so much futures. I think I know what you mean. It's also, it was showing rather the something like this, like the aggregate, right? Which I can simulate here. So this is like the average entry here. But maybe that's also just a setting. I mean, those must still be individual contracts, no? Anyway, maybe a retest from yesterday's picture. Yeah, it's what I'm hoping. Want to trade the retest, Robert, my friend? Want to get out there? Johan, it's just first bar negative on the DAX, so trades alongside. It doesn't work like that. The FTSE is a different animal. So you see, we got our second leg here in the FTSE. Would have been easier to trade the FTSE, right? Fuck it. It's, sometimes I don't claim to have the best read on the market or to be the best in price action or whatever, but when I call it, and don't pull the trigger on it, what good is it, right? What good is it? So, Bruce, can you explain the difference? You said you were not interested in the second touch in UK 100, but in DAX you said you were thinking about going short again at the second touch at the espresso entry short. Yes, brother, because you have to think in terms of support, right? If the market revisits an old low, because it's sometimes a double bottom, yeah, and you can trade that, right? You can be like, okay, it might reverse here. So, and then it reverses a little bit, but then it comes down to that level. So at that point, you have to ask yourself, is that still the same story? Is that still support? Because buyers were not able to hold price up and push the reversal forward, right? So at that point, it's maybe much more likely, of course, always depending on context, but much more likely that support will not hold. That's why I wanted to be short the DAX and not long anymore the FTSE. Yeah, same. Hope that helps. Just a friendly tip, if you hover your mouse over the line on your chart and press delete on the keyboard, you don't need to right click on each one. Yeah. Well. Wow. You nerds, you have it all figured out, huh? I would just love if that would just break down further. Oh, fuck. We have to be careful. Now we have some exposure here. It's not so bad, right? This is a combined stop loss 50 and 26.4, that's 76.4. I stopped myself out on the espresso for minus 12. So worst case. Under 100 points. You know, I personally, I don't add to losing positions. So if the position is in the green, even though we pulled back from the second entry here, I still sometimes add, but in this case, no. Whoa. DAX is staging a comeback here. Guys, I want to adjust a tiny little bit. Don't be mad at me. But I want that stop loss to be just above. Just above. Phew. What the fuck was there? Believe in support and the resistance. There is something. So, profit taking from bears who sold below first 15-minute bar. They got a perfect measured move, Andy. You are a smart ass, my friend. Measured move from where? You realize this cash session is just 44 minutes old. So where's the measured move? Right? So. So it's so easy after the fact, right? To write something like that at 9:43. If you sold below bar 1 on 15-minute chart, stop above, you got a 1-1. That's not a measured move, pal. No, I don't measure it. If I don't, I really, it's just a stupid, sorry, it's just a stupid comment of yours. You don't know what's going to happen. You're just smart after the fact, right? So check your attitude, man. Seriously. Okay, CJ is a little bit, he was like, don't worry, we will go lower. I'm with you. Well, in all fairness, we might reverse up, but the thing is also, we have 2 bear bars. Second bear bar closed near its lows, below previous session low, below overnight low. So we have a classical school run in a in a cash context that is right now very bearish. But yeah, then we had bar number 3, made a new low and closed near its highs. We have bar number 4, which is not very old, but already superseded the previous bar. So now the age-old question, pullback or reversal? So After Market Wizards, right? New book. Yeah, so we have to take into consideration that it's going fast now. So, hey, Andrea, my friend, buongiorno. Yeah, guys. Fuck. That's reversing. So, okay. That's reversing. It's reversing hard. I hope this old support becomes resistant story is true. Because overnight low didn't really. Previous session low might offer that. Stop loss not far away. So if this is a shakeout, then it better be over soon. And if it's already reversing, then miss the opportunity to get out. Yeah. That sucks. Stand by to flip long. Okay. Have to maybe ease off a little bit. Maybe I don't need to. Okay. Closing my first entry. Putting in an order to flip long on the school run. So if you add to your winners and then it reverses, then you have to make decisions that are sometimes painful, because you just, in my case, doubled your exposure, right? So if that gets you stopped out, you take 2 full hits. So yeah, I just closed that at a small digestible loss rather than when both get stopped out. However, if you get back to entry down here, I have no problems of doubling up again. Okay. Not an easy session, ladies and gentlemen. And in the FTSE, might even get a third leg down. Unless this story here is true. You know. Problem is with diagonal lines, you always include your bias. So there's still room for a shorter third leg, right? So however, if the DAX stages a comeback, the FTSE might follow. So Thank you very much. That is very generous. Michelle just gifted me 3 months Telegram Premium. Okay. Never received a gift. Thank you very much, I guess. Okay, so. So, Don Quingshot says, is of the opinion that doubling up only if your initial stop loss is at break even. No. It's not how Tom trades. Tom just adds very aggressively and not having anything at break even, right? So let me see. I might be overstepping, but this is just to show you. So you see that stake size here? See that that's from Tom? See that? So no. Tom has an exceptional appetite for risk, and he's doing stuff like that, right? Not necessarily with you, but you know, probably maybe a little bit of that with you. In no way, shape, or form does Tom move stop loss to break even, and only then adds. Yeah. So there are traders who do that. You can look, adding is there's many ways to do that, right? You can add. You don't need to add skyscraper style. You don't need to add 100% on top. You can just add a little bit. You can also say, okay, I'm running a business here. So we are now long the DAX, flipping. How much was that? Unfortunately, minus 51.4. And we are now long the DAX. So you can add a little bit. You can reinvest sort of, right? Profit that you have locked in by moving stop loss into profit. But the way Tom adds is 100% on top, skyscraper style. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So. Hopefully we don't get a double whammy now, but hey, it's what it is. So 26,262.8. Stop loss is down here. 26 to 12.7. Hopefully this wasn't a shakeout. T. Kruger, third, fifth minute bar is a volume order block. Don't know what that means. No idea what that means, my friend. No idea. Don't use volume. Roberto. Roberto from Italy. Hi, I'm Roberto from Italy. After reading Tom's book, it should be the gospel of traders. I'm following you, trying not to be influenced. I have my own technique that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, sometimes wins, sometimes doesn't. I'm trying to become a good loser, and it's wonderful to see serious people like you who have learned to do it. You're number one, or rather two, after Tom. There are no real number ones. Great and thank you. I hope I wrote well. My English sucks. Ciao. Your English is excellent, brother, and I appreciate that. Edin, come on. Don't need to apologize. You know, in this case, guess what? You were closer to what happened with your